And assembly elections for 4 states and 1 union territory have been concluded. Exit polls are now out, and it's time for the numbers now. West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam and Puducherry results of all assembly elections are now simultaneously coming out, and they are going to be out on the 4th of May. As of now, we are looking at exit polls. Leaving West Bengal, all other numbers are out. West Bengal Phase 2 of these elections just concluded an hour ago. We're expecting those numbers anytime. Now, the most high-voltage political battle is taking place in West Bengal, where electorate has delivered a historic voter turnout in both phases. Voting percentage in the second phase, as of now, stands at 89.99%. That was as per 6 p.m. local time. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is seeking a 4th term in office, while the BJP is seeking to dethrone her to form BJP's first ever government in West Bengal. Can BJP do it? We're waiting for the numbers to come in. Let's dive straight into it. Talking about Tamil Nadu, a multipolar electoral contest. It pits regional and national political parties against each other. And in the battle of alliances, new entrant TVK led by actor turned politician Vijay is also trying to make inroads in the state assembly. Incumbent Chief Minister M.K. Stalin is eyeing to script electoral history by etching his name among the rare politicians who have ever managed to retain power in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, anti-incumbency has always been the norm. Only one to break that norm was Jayalalitha. And now, M.K. Stalin could perhaps be doing that. AIA-DMK, which suffered setbacks in the 2021 assembly polls and the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, is eyeing an electoral comeback. On the Z News AI exit poll, Xenia, it is predicting M.K. Stalin's historic return in Tamil Nadu. Now, this is what the exit polls are suggesting. Stalin is going to have a 2nd term in office. The only other leader to have done it in recent past is Jayalalitha. Now, DMK Alliance is predicted to get 140 to 160 seats, while the AIA-DMK Alliance, that is, and it also has the BJP in its fold, it is expected to get anywhere between 52 to 74 seats. The total constituencies in Tamil Nadu are 234. Now, politician Vijay's TVK, it could get anywhere between 8 to 18 seats. That's as far as Vijay has been able to bring his power to place as far as the exit polls. Let's talk about Assam. The state turned into a high-stakes battle between 2 national parties. The Congress is looking to de-seat Himanta Biswa Sarma's and the BJP from the position of Chief Minister, while the BJP is hoping that he retains the position for a 2nd time. In Assam, Himanta Biswa is returning to power as per the Z News AI exit poll. The BJP is expected to win 80 to 86 seats in the 126-member assembly. That's the total number of seats, 126. BJP anywhere between 80 to 86. That's what the Z News AI poll has picked up. Congress could face another setback in Assam with only 29 to 35 seats predicted for them in this exit poll. All right, let's now shift focus to Kerala. The state is witnessing a 3-cornered fight. The ruling Left Democratic Front, the LDF, led by the Communist parties, while their main challenger is the United Democratic Front, the UDF, led by the Congress. And meanwhile, the BJP-led NDA is also looking to expand its footprint in Kerala. Now, exit polls are predicting major turnaround in Kerala, where the reign of Pinarayi Vijayan could end on the 4th of May. Congress-led UDF is projected to win anywhere between 63 to 74 seats. Total number of seats, 140. Vijayan's LDF is somewhere between 58 to 70. So 140 seats, 71 would be the majority mark, and both parties somewhere in a tight race at this point. That's what the exit polls are suggesting, the LDF and the UDF. The battle remains close here. It will be interesting to see who eventually edges ahead. All right, the next high-stakes battle. It took place in Puducherry. Chief Minister N. Rangaswamy is leading this alliance with BJP currently, and the opposition alliance is led by Congress and DMK, while new entrant TVK, and that's Vijay, is contesting on 28 seats out of 30. 30 is the total. Rangaswamy is expected to return as Chief Minister as per the exit polls we are projecting for you, with 14 to 18 seats. Congress expected to get anywhere between 2 to 4 seats, while the DMK is projected to get 4 to 6 seats. So as far as Puducherry is concerned, the political landscape seems to look largely similar to what it has been in the past. As far as West Bengal is concerned, we're still awaiting the numbers to come in, as polling just concluded about an hour ago in the state. All right, we're getting numbers for West Bengal as well. Before I cut across to my colleague Dharam, who's there with us in the newsroom, the TMC is projected to get anywhere between 129 to 145 seats. The numbers have just come in. There are a total of 294 seats in the state. TMC projected to get 129 to 145. BJP anywhere between 144 to 160. And this is projecting a BJP win. Could be, if the seats are in the max range. And the others are anywhere between 1 and 5. So this seems to be a tight race in West Bengal as well. TMC 129 to 145, BJP 144 to 160, and there are about 1 to 5 seats among the others. And that's what the West Bengal seats are looking like. The exit poll has just come out. As I mentioned, phase 2 of the elections completed just an hour ago. We were waiting for those numbers. They're in now. Once again, I'll repeat it for all our viewers. West Bengal exit polls that we're tracking for you. TMC to get anywhere between 129 to 145 seats. BJP anywhere between 144 to 160 seats. And 1 to 5 for the others. All right, I'll now cut across to my colleague Dharam Jodh, who's there with me in the newsroom. Dharam, you were touring West Bengal all through phase 1. You've been tracking these seats closely. We've just brought the figures for all our viewers. Give me your initial thoughts on what you picked up on ground and what you feel seeing these numbers come in. Dharam, over to you.
Well, Shivan, honestly, it's not surprising at all. It's a bit of a split verdict. You know, the poll clearly tells us that it could go anyway with a very narrow margin. It is predicting a loss for the TMC narrowly and also a win for the BJP on the other hand if it achieves the numbers on the higher end of this particular prediction poll. But again, this split verdict is very, very reflective of what the situation was like on ground, because having been in the state for over a week, the voter sentiment was, of not really, number one, not really talking very openly about which party they would be voting for. There were some pockets of the state that did have an anti-incumbency wave where people wanted to see a change in governance. We do know TMC has been there for about 15 years and Mamata Banerjee is looking for a 4th term now. But we've also seen a lot of stalwarts from the BJP coming to the state to campaign, including the Prime Minister himself. We're looking at the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh who's coming, the Delhi Chief Minister who went into campaign. Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, who also has been in the state several times to campaign for the party. So it's a very, very intense bipolar contest as far as West Bengal is concerned. There are several issues that need to be addressed in terms of what the voters are looking at. But all of these issues are something that voters are divided on. There are people who feel, especially in the rural area, that the TMC is better suited to look after their concerns since it is a regional party, it's a state party, it's a ground level grassroots party. On the other hand, there are a lot of people, especially in the urban areas of West Bengal, who want to see a change, who want to see what the BJP can do if it comes to power, especially because this is going to turn out to be what the BJP calls the double engine mechanism that they're looking at, being in power nationally as long as in the West Bengal Assembly as well. So if this double engine could help resolve some issues, could help bring a lot of more policies on the forefront, especially with regards to investment, with regards to employment in the state, there are many voters in West Bengal who are interested in seeing what a change of the political landscape would look like. But this split verdict, as far as the opinion poll, the prediction poll is concerned, Shivan, is very, very reflective of what the divide is also in the state as far as West Bengal is concerned. So clearly there's no way of saying which party comes back. Yeah,
Dharam, let me just quickly bring in a few numbers there for our viewers. Last time in 2021, and at that time, eventually the results stood with BJP getting 77 seats and the TMC at 215 seats. It was a landslide victory for the TMC in the previous election. Now, if we look at the exit polls right now, what we're seeing with West Bengal, 144 to 160 is what is being projected for the BJP. If that is even remotely close to what we'll see on the 4th of May, this is going to be a leap ahead for the BJP. You see the max number projected for TMC and the minimal number projected for BJP being at par. But in the previous, just 5 years ago, it was BJP at 77, almost nearly less than half of the midpoint that is required. Total number of seats here are 294, 148 is the majority. Dharam, I'll come back. Just give me a sense of the locations that you had visited when you were there, picking up sentiment and picking up reactions on ground. And how much of that do you see being reflected in these numbers, in your perspective?
Well, touring a lot of areas like Murshidabad and Malda especially, Shivan, where there were a lot of issues that came to the forefront, especially the SIR voter revision list that came out. It became a massive controversy in the state with respect to millions of voters getting deleted. Then the last-minute Supreme Court verdict just days before the first phase of the election, where they set up, judicial officials to work around the clock to ensure that last-minute appeals of voters are heard. How many voters really got added back? How many remained deleted? Those numbers are still officially not clear. So the SIR became a major point of contention, not just for the parties, but also for the voters. And areas like Malda, areas like Murshidabad, which are also border regions along the India-Bangladesh border, the SIR issue sort of overlapping with the immigrant issue in that area, with other issues of employment, of investment, which West Bengal has not seen much of, to be very frank. So all of these issues have really compounded, not to do away with the fact that this entire bipolar contest has seen both the TMC and the BJP really leveling a lot of accusations at each other of, interference, of violence, the incidents that we've also seen happen in phase one, especially in these two areas that I'm talking about. So a lot of these issues might also be reflective in terms of how divided the people are, because the one interesting thing that I found, Shivan, was people are usually very open in terms of talking about the issues or the changes that they're looking for or the parties that they're either supporting or they're against. In West Bengal this time, that is not something that was done very openly. One, out of fear of political violence. Two, also because people weren't really sure which way this election could possibly go. So very different environment in West Bengal as far as this particular assembly election is concerned. Now, talking about TMC, as you mentioned the numbers, there's a drastic change as far as the opinion poll and the projections are concerned, because both in 2016 and in 2021, the TMC registered a very comfortable victory with over 200 seats both times. But the BJP is the one that made a massive change from 2016, where it had only 3 assembly seats, to 2021, where it had 77. And now they're looking at a clean sweep in terms of their expectation. Whether or not that happens in terms of the higher projection numbers, that is something we will find out on 4th. But clearly, this is giving you a very, very intense, a very, very close race as far as West Bengal is concerned.
And Dharam, let me also bring in these numbers for our viewers. Let's just look at the voter turnout. 92.88%. That was the voter turnout in phase 1 of the elections in West Bengal, held on the 23rd of April. Today, 29th, the voter turnout as per 6 p.m. stood at 89.99%. It's a massive turnout that we've seen. Dharam, over to you. What do you feel has caused this kind of a turnout in West Bengal?
Well, Shivan, before we go ahead, we have the final numbers for phase 2 turnout. It's now at 91.41%.
There you go. Increased even further.
After polls closed at 6 p.m. So we're looking at just under 93% in the first phase and 91.1% in the second phase, which gives you an average of over 90%. And that's a massive, massive turnout. Now, a little bit of devil is definitely in the details here. In the past, we've always seen West Bengal have a high voter turnout as well. 2021, we saw over 85% people turning out to vote. So West Bengal voters are very, very enthusiastic in exercising their franchise. That's a known. Of course, we also have analysts and statisticians who are talking about how the voter deletion during SIR, reducing your base number, is also a reason why we are seeing this massive jump of 5 to 6% in the voter turnout, because the number of people who are coming out to vote are the same, but your base rate of your entire total eligible voters has gone down. So there's a little devil in the detail as far as that is concerned. But overall, West Bengal has always been very, very enthusiastic about coming out to vote in massive numbers, and that enthusiasm is across the rural and the urban areas. It's across gender lines as well. We have more women in West Bengal who come out to cast their franchise. As far as the men are concerned, we're at equal numbers in terms of how this entire polling exercise is held in the state. So what do the voting percentage really tells us? It's unclear, because it's always been very high. It's the projections and the issues on the ground that are going to be the determining factor in this, and the women vote as well, because we've seen a lot of manifesto promises by both parties being made to the women of West Bengal. Which one of those parties has really wooed the women in that state is going to be interesting to watch out for.
Absolutely. Let's shift focus to the other states as well. Dharamjot, it's Tamil Nadu. Let's look there before we come back to West Bengal. The DMK being projected to get 140 to 162 seats. AIA-DMK alliance, and that includes the NDA BJP, 52 to 74. and the TVK, and Vijay's party, anywhere between 8 and 18. So that disrupting angle or the disruption effect of Vijay is not really being projected very highly here in this exit poll. It seems to be a comfortable victory for MK Stalin. And this is something, if this is eventually what we see in the results as well, with this margin, it seems Stalin is definitely going to be scripting history of one of a kind, because the only other time we've seen incumbency come back to power was Jaya Lalita back in 2016 and then eventually. But here, this never happened. It's always anti-incumbency which has ruled. Over to you, Dharamjot, regarding what we can expect in Tamil Nadu.
Well, it's definitely a swing state in terms of its own assembly elections. And the DMK since the 1970s has not come to power for 2 straight terms. So if MK Stalin can pull this off this time, he's definitely scripting history for the party and for the entire left alliance. But again, it will boil down to what kind of issues that the voters have stepped out for. We've seen a lot of identity issues emerging in the state. We've seen a bit of a region versus national debate emerging in the state. We've seen language row that has been fairly, very talked about in the past few months quite a bit. So how these issues really boil down in terms of, pushing the voters to vote in a certain direction and giving the mandate to MK Stalin, that is going to be very interesting to watch for. It does look like he is going to come back to power. But what is the X factor that really led to it? Was it really a state versus nation sort of divide in terms of policies? Was it identity that led to this particular mandate that helped MK Stalin, script history in this manner? That is going to be very interesting. And also the fact that Vijay has not been able to make a mark that he was really looking at. So because that was the concern, Shivan, earlier. What kind of vote percentage cut will Vijay's party really lead to? Who will it work for? Who will it work against? That doesn't really seem to be happening. So this, if the projections are to be believed, is turning out to be a fairly predictable election then.
Yeah, and at this point, even if Vijay decides to go ahead and join the AIA-DMK alliance, even then it's nothing that can touch where this exit poll is suggesting DMK has already reached. They are winning hands down in terms of this exit poll. Of course, just to let our viewers know, these are exit polls. These are opinions picked up from surveys. This is not the final result. We'll get to know that only on the 4th of May. But we're picking up on trends. They're picking up on projections, and that's what this is. Let me now go over to Assam. 126 seats in total. And we'll have the numbers for you on the screen as well. 126 in total. Congress is projected to get anywhere between 29 and 35. And the NDA anywhere between 80 and 86. Seems like hands down, it's a no-brainer in terms of the exit polls. As I mentioned, these are not the final results. We'll need to wait for those. But it seems like a comfortable re-win.
Well, Shivan, it does seem like that. I mean, we've seen the BJP-led alliance campaign very heavily, along with the Congress, on the other hand. That also formed an 8-party opposition alliance in the northeastern state. It was also one of the very intense electoral battles that took place last month. So, again, this particular projection making it look like a seamless victory for the BJP-led alliance once again. For the second time in a row, we've had Himanta Sharma Biswa as the chief minister since 2021. Looks like he is likely to make a comeback to the state seat again, this time in 2026. But again, a very interesting, a very intense contest. We saw the opposition trying to put up a big fight, having 6 to 8 parties come together to form an umbrella alliance in the state, trying to mimic what they did and the Lok Sabha as well, like the India bloc that we were talking about in 2024. But that clearly did not make the dent and the mark that they were looking to make if these exit poll numbers are to be believed, Shivan.
All right, and quickly, before we wrap up, Dharamjot, let's go over to Kerala and Puducherry as well. Kerala, 140 seats, that's the total. And this is what we're picking up. It's anywhere between, it seems like the UDF is going to be getting a victory as per what we're picking up from the exit polls, but it seems like a tight race. Again, this is in 2021, the Pinarayi Vijayan-led LDF, they secured a historic victory. This is the first time since 1977 that an incumbent government in Kerala was re-elected. But can that record be set again? Can it Can incumbency come back? That seems to be unlikely as far as this exit poll is concerned. I'll quickly go over the numbers once again. We have them on the screens for us. LDF anywhere between 58 and 70. The UDF between 63 and 74. So it seems to be a tight race if you look at the highest numbers for the LDF and the lowest ones for the UDF. And the BJP anywhere between 2 and 5. So we understand BJP's footprint in the southern states has largely been weak so far, and Kerala not being any exception. But when you look at UDF and LDF, it seems to be like a tight race with the higher projection for UDF to be in the lead. It's going to be a tight one.
Absolutely. In fact, if you look at the trend and the pattern, it's very similar to the exit poll prediction for West Bengal. So both Kerala and West Bengal are looking at a very, very tight race in which we're looking at numbers that could potentially unseat the incumbent and be replaced by the opposition. Again, whether or not that's going to happen, these were two very, very different races altogether with very different issues coming to the forefront. West Bengal on one side was just a strictly bipolar contest between two parties. Of course, Kerala is an alliance versus alliance battle between the LDF and the UDF, with the BJP only getting a couple of seats in this manner. They're not being able to make the same mark or an impact that we're looking to replicate as the Lok Sabha election. So the assembly election clearly being a whole different ball game for the BJP here in Kerala. Again, trends very similar in terms of West Bengal. These two states are emerging as the most interesting ones to watch out for. And if projections are anything to go by, it seems like the incumbent are going to be unseated, given that the anti-incumbency wave has been pretty strong in both the states. So if that's the word on the street, I think we'll find out on May the 4th, Shivan.
Yeah, and while Kerala and West Bengal are definitely going to be exciting, I'm pretty excited to see what M.K. Stalin is able to script in terms of his comeback or his retention of power in Tamil Nadu. That's also going to be one for the history books. But let me quickly also wrap up with Puducherry. 30 seats, fairly simple at this point. AI, NRC looking at 9 to 11. BJP anywhere between 5 and 7. And this the DMK 4 to 6. BJP, and that's Puducherry. So that's BJP plus essentially the AI, NRC and the BJP together, anywhere between 14 and 18. And that's also the current setup in Puducherry, where that's the alliance which is ruling the government. So it seems to be everything is going to be as is, even in the next 5 years, as per these exit polls.
Absolutely, Shivan. So with Puducherry and with Tamil Nadu and West Bengal and Kerala, we're looking at an incumbency versus anti-incumbency wave going on over here. Again, it is going to boil down to which party has had how much of an impact. And it's also going to be a very interesting election mandate to see what kind of power do regional parties really hold in front of those with national presence, especially the BJP. The Congress, as we're seeing, has not been across the board making much of an impact, whether it's the West Bengal or whether it's Puducherry or whether it is Tamil Nadu. So unless it's in an alliance, independently on its own, the Congress has not been able to make any impact in this election. So those are some of the similarities that we're looking at across all 5 states. Again, May the 4th is going to be a big day for all of us, Shivan, to see which way this entire election goes for Assam, for Kerala, for West Bengal, for Puducherry, and also for Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely. Dharam, thanks so much for getting us all those insights from your ground experiences and, of course, everything else that we're studying sitting here in the newsroom. As of now, we're going to call it a wrap on this bulletin. And it's an assurance from our side to all our viewers that we are going to make the crunching of these numbers as simple to understand as possible. One can understand getting all these numbers in one go from all these states can be overwhelming. But we are bringing you exactly what to look out for in terms of all these states. May 4th is when we're going to be covering all the elections, all the state elections and the results coming in by right here from the newsroom. I'm Shivan Chandna, slipping into a very short break. Stay with us. This is WION World is One.